This is the second ever time I'm sharing this experience with anyone besides my partner. First time was a couple years back on this very board, although the thread was moving so fast I doubt anyone read it. I know the premise reads like a bad creepypasta and doesn't hold up to the slightest amount of scrutiny. Nevertheless, I am fully convinced I didn't dream or hallucinate this after corroborating the event with my uncle after the fact. If you're capable of suspending your disbelief, I hope you all find the story interesting. It mystifies me to this day. Be me. Around 10 or 11. On a vacation to Oak Island, North Carolina with my parents, siblings, grandparents, and uncle. One of the days we're there we pile into our cars to catch a ride on a ferry off the island. If I recall, the destination was some adjacent island that had an aquarium. My parents and siblings are riding together, chose to ride with grandparents and uncle cause my uncle is one cool hombre. We're just riding along, early-ish. In the day, summer sun shining bright. I believe we were trailing close behind my parents for the duration of the drive. Everything's normal. We're nearing the ferry checkpoint, just one last town we gotta drive through. I remember the town looking almost stereotypical, like a piece of preserved Americana, an antique of a town. Been over a decade now, so the imagery is spotty, but I distinctly remember a blue frilly decoration tied up near the entrance of the town. Cars line both sides of what could be considered Main Street. Cafes, various random businesses, nice houses every so often. The first weird thing I noticed was one such cafe. Catch a glimpse through the window of people? Except they weren't moving. Weird. Then a lady walking her dog, both completely frozen like mannequins. Next, a man working on his truck with a hose in one of his hands, completely frozen except for the hose which was still running water. Eventually we reach the checkpoint, the day resumes as normal. 4. The entire duration of the ride, and the rest of the day after, nobody mentioned anything about the town we just rode through. Even as I was witnessing it, I felt a strange sense and didn't attempt to speak, to ask if anybody else was seeing this and what was happening. Oddly, didn't think about it much after. If I did, I chalked it up to a dream or imagination, since nobody mentioned it to me at the time or after. Many years later. Hanging out with my uncle like usual. He's dicking around on the computer. Out of nowhere he asks me, "Hey Josh, do you remember the mannequin town?" Shit bricks and feel like a weight has been lifted off me. We start discussing it with each other. One of us will bring up some random detail that was buried in our minds, and it instantly clicks, like, oh shit, I do remember that, how could I have forgotten? We both recount that strange sensation of not wanting to talk about it as it was happening, and how weird it was that we just sat there and witnessed it. Like it was normal. It was pretty clear he was pretty happy to finally talk about it, just like I was, just to know we're not crazy. Now every couple years one of us will bring it up again, like, you still remember Mannequin Town? That was wild, I think, to make sure it really did happen, lmao. So yeah, weird dealio. Dunno if we drove through some pocket dimension or if we had a simultaneous impromptu acid trip. Either way, that's really the only super strange thing I've ever experienced in my life. Did some cursory digging over the years and never found any explanation or even similar stories about Mannequin Town. Not paranormal. Be me, 21-year-old chillin' with friend at his house. We smoke some weed, play games. He wants to go buy weed, I tell him I already have. He insists. We go. He buys weed, says let's have a drink and smoke up. Nigger, I just wanted to play video games. As we get our beer, find a bench, and begin to roll up, I spot an old friend I lost contact to. He is with a girl. A very young girl, 14 to 16 top. They sit down, we shoot the shit for a while. Old friend leaves, literal jailbit stays. I get mad bad vibes from this. Start to leave, friendo says let's finish our beers first bro. Grudgingly agree. Try to make conversation, even though the bad juju vibes was off the charts. Jailbit 120 plus kilometers from home, ran away. She has nobody to stay with. Try to steer into lighter conversation material. Jailbit obviously very uncomfortable. Friend 2 just replies yes no while pretending to drink his beer. 20 minutes pass. It was a 33 cl beer. Suddenly this large man comes over. Easily 40 plus. Grabs Jailbit by the shoulder, it's time to leave. I nope the fuck out, friend doesn't make eye contact the trip home. We don't talk anymore. Share your nope stories here. I just wanted to get this one off my chest. I've been lurking and listening to stories for years, but I've never had anything supernatural happen to me. Now after only a month of living away from the safety of the city this happened. Be me 23 just moved from inner city Washington to rural Washington, spend whole Saturday drinking and playing Ta with GF. Feels good.png. GF passes out early around 10. By 11, get sleepy and decide to take our pup out to piss. Closed door behind us. Fuzzy white form slinks out from behind a nearby car. Most likely a neighbor's cat, I'm thinking. Clueless.jpg. Keep walking as it strolls closer to my apartment building. Gets within 20 feet of us. I realize it's too big to be a cat. Way too big as my German Shepherd mutt. It stops and I get a better look at its face. At a completely white coyote. Start yelling at it like it's a bear stumbling into my campsite. It calmly turns away and keeps walking. See, it has a big fluffy tail like a fox as I back into my apartment. Tell GF there's a coyote or something outside and wait a few minutes before taking her back out to pee. Barely step 10 feet away from apartment, scared to go into darkness anywhere near woods. Spend rest of the night googling. Arctic foxes do not live in hot rural Washington. Maybe an albino coyote? Google white fox spirit, having recalled hearing about something similar on XRK once. Good omen. Bruh.mp4. I yelled at a friendly fox spirit. X how fucked am I? I'll try to keep this green text short. Be me working at car wash, several months into the job. Have lesbian manager, she's alright even though I don't generally like gay people, devout Christian. She has talked to me about God before, and she wants to be Christian, but says she can't. She has talked to me about her sexuality before, and says she wants to be straight, and says she can't. She has talked to me about her girlfriend before, and has specifically said one thing that set off my godly gifted discernment. She says when her girlfriend gets mad, her eyes turn black. Surely she's exaggerating? She insists, so whatever. I think demonic. Tell my wife this later that day. This is where it clicks. Me and her closing together, it's normally just us two, because we get along. See red car in the parking lot. Discernment pops off, sense something demonic evil. Start praying out loud, no one hears me there though, weren't many people, for protection. Go on about my business girded. Later. See same red car parked somewhere weird, ask manager about it. That's my ride, she's my significant other. Tell me that's not a demon masquerading as a woman manipulating a poor woman into degeneracy, I dare you. This happened today, just 30 minutes ago or so. Not trying to derail, but there's some fucky shit going on bros. Be me. Can't access 16-year-old Gmail account yesterday, try at least 20 times. Has happened before, but always able to recover, not this time. Whatever. Try again today. Email from Ching Ching Ping Pong sounding name, random letters and numbers in subject and text body. Decide to plug subject text into DDG, only because of this thread I've seen a few times. 84E34UG243NH15NS2T everything random except one triggered by NS2. Creativa Biolabs. Net. Go down rabbit hole for few hours. Try to go back to Gmail, locked out again. Learn that they're creating bioengineered chimeric stem cell lines. Learn they sell entire cell lines of diseases broken down by genes antigens. Colorful language to make it sound like they're fighting the good fight against cancer tumors. Many of these cell lines are specifically meant to target T cells. While this company may be using the technology for good, doubt it, staffed full of chinks, something tells me if these specific lines of gene cells can be used for good, they can quite certainly be used for evil, just by reversing the polarity if you will. Have a strange feeling this entire COVID psyop is to test this novel CRISPR chimeric technology on as many tards as possible for science, so they can work out the kinks, see how compatible the gene therapy is across a wide range of people. Help me schizo bros. Be me, home alone for the week. Second night be awoken at like 5 a.m. Loud AF banging on bedroom door. Donfuckingmove.jpg. Only lasts for like 15 seconds. Go back to sleep cause MF be comfy. Try to forget about it for months now. Be me, last night about 5 a.m. again. Happens again. Not home alone this time, assume it's my mom. She asks if it was me making the noise. Tactically shit a brick. What do? Be me. Of Aboriginal descent many generations back. Yowie, Aussie Bigfoot. Deliga, also Aussie Bigfoot type guy. Quinkin. Rainbow serpent. Kurdiachamen featherfoot, spelt many different ways. Bunyip. Yaramaihahu. Bajini. Wingini alien looking dudes in our rock art. Lots of amazing Dreamtime stories. Reminds me how my grandma died. Be me, visiting my grandma during the winter. 11 yo at most. Little uncle lives with them. Grandma is fighting brain tumor for a decade at least. She is paralyzed, getting worse every year. She was okay 1 year prior. Decide to go to park with uncle. Having fun playing on snow. Everything is going great, but suddenly uncle stops. Says he feels bad, says something happened to grandma. Rush back home, he keeps telling me that he feels bad, as if something happened. At the moment we stepped in, grandma died. How did he feel this? What's the scariest nightmare you ever had as a child? Like one you still remember vividly after all these years. Be me. About 6 or 7. Dream is him sleeping in the basement by the furnace. Using astroturf roll as blanket for some reason. Hear a voice in my head. You are about to hear the devil. What? Suddenly hear piercing, terrifying cackle. Scares me so much I wake up. It was just a dream. JPG.